Welcome to another edition of the eSpot with Camille. The eSpot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining.
Girl, you the band, and she love me when I'm in it, and she never be pretending, nothing is friend. She gon' tell you what she bought it, cause she know you can't afford it. Know you can get it, looking exquisite, no competition, stay on the pivot. They be watching, they be plotting, she so motherfucking independent. Mama be big, got on her grind, she had to get out her mama house. Daddy be tripping.
Yay! Thank you so much for joining me for another beautiful episode of the eSpot with Camille. I'm super excited for you to meet my guest today. She started her own skin line, ButterMeUpGoods, which is exactly that. I've enjoyed some of her products. Let me just bring her up. So it's better to hear from the source where she came up with all this wonderful, beautiful skincare products. And I love so much about it and want to find out what was her thoughts behind all of it. So Toshia Baker, thank you so much for joining me today and to share about your beautiful Butter Me Up goods. So tell everyone, how did you get started in creating your own skincare line?
Oh man, it's a long journey. First of all, it started actually 2011. That's where everything began. But I've always had super dry skin, even as a baby, like growing up. I've always had super dry skin. And everything that my mother used on me had to be hyperallergenic, fragrance free, just super, basically nothing harmful in it, or I would break out into hives. So having to deal with that my entire life in my younger 20s, I was trying to start my own taking better care of myself. And to start with that was with my skincare journey. I wanted to, have things that would help better my skin. And I would test out so many things like drugstore brands, and all of them would be drying or just not work for my skin. And back during those times, the products that we have now, they did not exist back then. Like there was literally no options other than just drugstore brands. And I was like, okay, let me, I was experimenting with, doing like facial masks and just having fun. And I was like, let me just try and do something for myself, like just for fun. And I just started experimenting with butters and different lotions. And it all started in my mom's kitchen. And I was just researching like different types of butters and like what works well for your skin. And I actually started out with shea butter. I personally didn't have the best experience with shea butter. It would like just stay on my skin. It wouldn't like actually absorb. But it was okay. It was better than what I was using prior. So I was like, okay, well, this is okay, but let me just try something, do a little bit more research and see what else there is. So I started on cocoa butter, different types of butter, and then I ran into my golden butter, which is mango butter. And I was testing out different oils, and I was tearing my mom's kitchen up with different recipes and different formulas, just trying out what I thought could be something that would help me.
Yeah,
So
you're looking for a solution. That's like a lot of entrepreneurs are trying to
yeah,
fill a void or solution or
right,
catering things that fit for them must fit for others as well. So,
right.
how was your mom about you just tearing up her kitchen and not cooking anything? Just making skincare.
So,
Was she enjoying the journey? Because I mean, it sounds like it probably smelled
well,
amazing.
so the great thing about my mom, she is extremely supportive,
Ah,
and I mean extremely. As long as I cleaned the kitchen up after, it wasn't a big deal. But she knew I was doing something, and
yeah.
she knew whatever it was gonna be something great. Like she just always believes in whatever I do. She trusts everything that I do, even when I don't trust myself. So,
Yeah.
and she's actually been a part of the process the entire time. So she was my actual first test person, just when I was creating something for myself, because again, there wasn't anything, especially for people of color. there weren't any products that geared towards us. And I was like, okay, let me just test this out and see, if I'm the only person that likes this, or see, the response to it.
Yeah.
And it started with, my mom, my dad, and then close family members. And it became a thing. And I'm like, well, it didn't seem that big of a deal to me. I was like, something that works for me was working for everyone else. But no, she was extremely supportive, and she was like, okay, you might be onto something. So let's see where it goes. And as from that point, I was very inspired to be like, okay, this could be something more than just something for myself. And it's been a journey since that day.
Yeah, I want to show everyone your butters, because even the packaging is beautiful. Like all of
you.
I'm trying to find a way I can make it bigger. Man, it's not really working with me today. But you can go to her website, ButterMeUpGoods.com. Super easy to find. And you have so many beautiful fragrances. Like even
Thank you.
the idea of the blends with the orange blossom honeysuckle body butter, the pearls and lace butter, and like pineapple margarita, tobacco, bay leaf body. Like there's so many great. Now you make me want to go get chai, because you even have vanilla maple chai body. Like just sandalwood, girl.
That's my
Stop looking at
favorite.
this before I spend all my money. And it's reasonably priced too. Like that's the other part of it, that it's reasonably priced. It's a great product, and a little goes a long way, because I have some right here. As a matter of fact, you can't read the name because of the way the camera's set up, but it's brown sugar vanilla cream, and it's thick, beautiful product here. Super, super amazing. Like it's smooth. Like that was the other thing when you were talking about shea butter. Like you have to. No offense to people that love shea butter and coconut butter for the same purpose. I'm allergic. And when you were talking about hives, I get hives. So I was just like, girl, I was a little scared, because I was like, there's a lot of fragrance to it. But, and it didn't have like the complete ingredient list on the bottle. So I was like, let's just see what happens. I'm on a lot of pills. What's the worst that could happen? And no reaction. It super shiny. I mean, like it's shiny. It absorbs into the skin, so it's not sticky or tacky too. Like you would get some other products where maybe it moisturizes, but you still might look ashy in a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? Not ashy.
One of my worst experiences was putting on lotion and supposedly body butters, and then like being ashy for the next hour, and I'm like, I just applied this. Like, why am I ashy?
And with everybody washing their hands, hopefully 20 seconds or more frequently as well, that like your hands are getting dry, especially in between. Like those would be places I would get caught, and I've been caught with some bad ankles sometimes too, because when you're working with a product that's really thick and you have to melt it almost to put it on, you might be like, all right, I already got my workout in for the day. And that's not the case with this. Like it quickly absorbs. It's beautiful. And it smells amazing. So I was like, I can have fragrance again on my body, so I really enjoy your product. Thank
you.
I love that you even have a recycling program. So it's sustainable. It's, there's not a lot of, like, it didn't come in a box. It wasn't like all this extra stuff so it's like environmentally friendly as well. And the fact that it's recyclable, love, 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 love. Cannot say enough about your body butters. But you didn't just stop there. You went further. When you started selling your body butters, what point did you know you needed to expand beyond that, or make it a real business that wasn't just friends and family getting introduced to it, but the whole world getting the opportunity to experience Butter Me Up Goods?
Well, okay. So again, I started my company almost 10 years ago. So the resources that we have now were not available back then. It was incredibly hard to figure out how to even start. Like, I knew it would have to be online because I'm from a very small town in Alabama. So there's not a lot of there's not a lot of traffic. So I knew it had to be online. And I was doing research from sun up to sundown because I had to figure out the most tedious things that were not available. Starting from what's a domain, how do I open a domain, or how do I buy one? Like, it was so tedious. Like, I had to do everything. And I knew I wanted to start selling beyond my area when I started selling at my local flea market, and it did really well. But I was like, I could probably do more. Like, let me see what else there is for me to do. And once I got all of that started online or whatever, I knew it was going to be something beyond my control when, again, I was working in my mom's kitchen. So I started to take over the entire dining room, the kitchen, the living room, our den. It was literally inventory all over the entire house. And it was so overwhelming that we couldn't even just get up and have a regular morning or regular breakfast, or yeah.
No, these are
I
good
was
problems to
like,
have. I mean, not having excess
I
inventory, but having excess demand that you need to have all this inventory. Yeah, that's a great
right.
problem. Yeah.
Right. And I was like, my mom was like, it was like getting to me, like having to wake up every day and seeing that. And I know it was probably a lot for my parents too. And I was like, okay, we're probably gonna have to, make some better changes. And that's when I knew, like, this is not just me mixing it up for myself and my family and a couple of local people. This is like literally a business now. And my mom has a lot of knowledge with business. So from then, she was like, listen, we're going to have to get some books out. We're going to have to start writing things down. You are going to have to, get your business license, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So she is like still very actively helping me up until this point, but she has been the start in helping in all of this. And that's when I knew, yeah, we probably got something good on our hands.
Now that's amazing. Like, I love that your mom was so devoted to helping you as well and realized, let's make this legit, not just a hobby. I feel like even that's downplaying it,
Right.
because it was way more than that. It was something that meant a lot to you as well. But what was her background and what was your background as far as what did you do before this that maybe helped with doing all of this as well? Or was it all like I had to learn everything from scratch, all of that, or
So
self-taught?
So I before I started my own business, I was working retail. All I've ever worked was retail in clothing stores, and that I believe taught me so much because
Yeah.
you're on your feet 8 hours a day or more, and you have to deal with a lot of different people and chaotic atmosphere, and you have to do a lot of different things. So I know that for sure helped me a lot. And my mom, she used to be an insurance agent for about
Mm.
15, 20 years, and that is a grind. Okay, but I don't know how insurance is now, but back then you had to be out selling insurance, like on your feet, and basically making your own income.
Yeah.
So with her help and with my knowledge in retail, we both came together, and we were just like, okay, we could, if we do all the proper behind the scene things, the legal things, then we could, get this going. So prior to all of this, all I did was work in retail. It was something that I enjoyed, but I knew it wasn't going to be something I wanted to do forever.
Yeah. I mean, it
But
takes
it
a toll on
definitely,
you. Yeah.
oh
Working on those
yeah,
concrete
it
floors for 8 hours. Trust me, girl, I know.
oh
So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
But it's fun too. Like I had a lot of fun working retail. I used to work at the Mac counter.
Oh,
So we would have
oh
a lot of
wow,
fun. It was like
okay.
working at a party, but you got to paint faces. What's not to love? I
Yeah.
traveled with Estee Lauder as a travel makeup artist for whenever they had like a new store, a new launch, and you would do like
Uh-huh.
60 makeovers sometimes in a day where you're just doing
Mhm.
someone's eyes or lips, or well, usually I always did the eyes because that's where the fun's at. But needless to
Uh-huh.
say, like, it does take a toll. I have carpal tunnel syndrome now from leaning
Yeah.
against these chairs all the time, holding myself up,
Right.
stay steady,
Yeah.
and so on. But um, it was a great learning experience. Like you mentioned, you meet a lot of people, you hear a lot of complaints sometimes of what they need, what they're looking for. And so you know more about people in that way because you hear from them. You hear from the real people, not just
Right.
from Twitter warriors or keyboard warriors.
Right.
real, you get
Right.
real face to face sometimes with that.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. It got
yeah,
real.
and then with your mom with the insurance, that's really great because I've worked in pharmaceutical sales, I've worked in retail, but being able to sell yourself, sell your own product, like that can be very difficult and it can be hard to
Oh yeah.
know your worth sometimes even. So even just having someone
Yeah.
outside of you making those decisions, being kind of a buffer as well in that sense, like and she had the experience from doing it with insurance, which this is way more fun to
Right.
sell. Like it's
Yeah,
not as doom and gloom
it's
as
way
you
more.
might have an accident. How are you going to take care of that? How's your family going to move
Right,
on? You
right.
know, like this is way
Right,
more fun because
exactly.
I also was an esthetician and worked in spas. So
Oh
skincare is
wow, okay.
everything. Yeah, I was a spa director at
Wow.
in LA as well as in North Carolina at top spas. So and I had like celebrity clientele, the whole thing. And I was looking at these products again because like some of the products I worked with, like there's one product line that I've worked with for 20 years because I've never had a reaction, I've never had any issues, and I can use like stronger products from them and know I'm okay, and
Mhm.
skincare, makeup, and so on. So I've been kind of shy at trying new things because, like you mentioned, I get
Yeah.
hives, you get hives, and a lot of times with darker skin tones, people will assume you can handle more, you can tolerate more. They like there's more layers of skin or
Yeah.
something now about seeing. I'm like,
Right.
you can see my
Right.
veins, bro. Like, like you
Right.
don't need like it's really easy to see my veins. Like, what do you mean? You think by So, like I
Right.
had in esthetician school, my esthetician teacher because she had I was like the first, not the first, but I think she had only had like 6 Black students in her 30 years of teaching, and um,
Wow.
microdermabrasion had just started becoming a thing, and she left me with tiger stripes on my face because she went really hard and didn't realize,
Oh.
oh wait, and me never having had microdermabrasion before, but they had mentioned that it's supposed to feel like a cat licking your face, and I was like, this doesn't feel like a cat, I feel like I'm getting sandblasted. And so then
Yeah.
she it lighter. So the rest of my face, she did it lighter, but in the one area she started a little rough. So,
Oh,
like even on that side of things, like people just make the wrong assumptions about darker skin tones
yeah.
or melanin
Oh yeah.
having people, but we do have issues that are different than people who don't have melanin in their skin, like
Exactly.
hyperpigmentation. Eczema is more common. It doesn't necessarily crack, but it does sag. So there's still like we need sun
Right.
protection and antioxidants, all the
Right.
and you have a lot of these products in your skincare line. So, what made you go from body butter to like full on self care day spa product line? Almost like I'm looking. You have the chamomile bamboo calming cleanser. For people who have acne prone skin, even like the shambles. Where are all the shambles? Okay, I must admit, I tried to open it one time after I just used your butter, and I could not get it open for like 2 days because my hand, like I kept forgetting to open
Uh-huh.
this first before putting on my butters. Because once you put on that,
Uh-huh.
your hands are
Yeah.
moisturized. It's slick, and this is a slick container too. Not making a complaint, just saying know your order of operations on this. And
Right,
so it
right.
took me a while to get it started because the oil it gives me such a glow and shine, and it doesn't, and I am an acne prone skin person, so I do have to use stuff for that for my doctor, but needless to say I haven't used it this week and I haven't had a
Uh-huh.
breakout, so that's like a true honest
Okay.
testament for your products. I did receive them as a gift, but at the same time I don't have to tell the truth. I could just have let you share about your products and just kept it moving. But I truly
Right.
was impressed and surprised and very grateful that I did not get hives or pimples or anything
Yeah, I totally
from trying it.
understand.
So,
Totally.
what made you make that leap or expand your line, so to speak? What started after the body butters?
So, like with the start of the body butters, again, I have very sensitive skin and dry skin. My face area is the most sensitive. I'm pretty sure a lot of people's skin is that way. So again, I was testing out different facial cleansers and, drugstore brand cleansers. And of course, every time I would use them, I would break out and have terrible reactions.
Yeah.
And what irritated me the most was that I would have to, I couldn't use the cleanser. Like once I break out, I couldn't use anything. All I could use was water because I would have like breakouts on my face, like painful breakouts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nothing catered to my particular skin type. And I was like, okay, well, if I can do butters, I know facial care may be a bit more of a challenge because it's more formulation, but I was like, I know I can do this. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start with something that was sensitive skin friendly because I have sensitive skin. And I just, again, started to do research, different type of ingredients, like what works really well with sensitive skin. And of course, the top ingredient is aloe. I feel like it's very gentle. A lot of cleansers have like witch hazel or alcohol, just
Mm-hmm.
very harsh ingredients. And
Very
I just
stripping.
wanted to offer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very. Oh my gosh, I hate when my face feels tight after I wash my face. It's
It's
literally
dehydrated. Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want something that's, for everyone, but of course, sensitive skin is something that won't dry your skin out, and that just works really well. So I did a lot of different testers. Again, I do a lot of testing. I don't put anything out that doesn't work well for me or my team, my family. Everything gets tested on all of us, and we all have different skin types, different skin conditions, and I was testing again, sun up, sun down, because I like to make sure everything is perfect. I don't want of course, everyone's going to have their own experiences, but I don't want anyone to have a negative experience. So I do so much testing, and I was like, okay, let's see how one cleanser does. I believe my first cleanser was I think it was the chamomile and bamboo cleanser. And I was like, okay, this works really well. I like this. Like, it has a nice lather. It's not too fuzzy. It's perfect. And from there, I was like, okay, maybe we can probably do an herbal cleanser. Like, I'm so creative with my products. I love to keep going. I
Mm-hmm.
actually probably went too far a couple of years ago because I had so many products. I had way too many products, and we're like, okay, everything can't sell. Everything that you're creating can't sell, and that's okay. So I had to dial it back a little bit.
Hey,
But I just
that's the
love
thing about dreamers.
skincare.
Sometimes there's no ceiling, so
Yeah.
reality will smack you down sometimes and decide, well, let me just
Right.
pivot more this way. Let me focus on what my audience wants, what my customers want. Yeah. So
Right. So that was my thing. I was like, okay, let me, because I can get so into my creative zone that I want to sell everything that I create. And I was like, okay, let me just narrow it down. Like, let's have something for sensitive skin, all skin types, and for acne prone combination skin.
mhm.
So I have done so much testing. Like, even now, I want to do, other things. And I'm always testing, I'm always listening to feedback, always doing research because that's the key part of anything that you do, but especially in skincare because everything's always changing.
Yeah.
So that was my start. Everything that I create starts from my own personal experience and what I may hear from a team member or a customer. It just sparks an idea in me, and I'm like, okay, let's start testing, let's start researching, and let's see what we can create. So that from that moment, I was like, okay, we're gonna do a whole skincare line. I want to do something, for the body, the face, the bath soaps, foot scrubs. I want everyone to have the essentials for their night routine, whatever routine you have. So
Mhm.
that I'm just always trying to do what I can to you know cater to whoever's self-care routine. I believe we all should have our own self-care routine.
Right. And to make the ritual something you enjoy, not necessarily, I got to do 3,000 steps.
Right.
And they're, like, not saying you shouldn't buy all 3,000 views or whatever, but at the same time,
Right.
it's to a point where you're just like, I just want to take good care of myself and have good skin without having to put 20,000 layers. Cause that was the other thing, like with working with
Yes.
different brands, they would push, you have to a certain amount of sales with each person, certain things, but
Yeah.
when they overlap, or you can overdo it. And sometimes I think with acne prone skin, a lot of people assume that their problem is like they need to over cleanse it. And so what ends up happening is that they end up making more oil, which is kind
Oh
of
yeah.
the whole opposite. And you will see like they have really dry skin, but they have all, because they're thinking I need more harsh ingredients. And to have this like
Right. Right.
oil, they may at first be like, it's an oil, but I mean, nutrient balance oil, excuse me. um,
Right.
they may feel like, oh, oil for skin with shambles and breakouts and so on. Like, what? Why would I need this? Because usually it's dehydrated skin with the acne prone skin sometimes. I mean,
Right.
sometimes
Right.
it's genetic, sometimes it's hormonal. There's different reasons behind it.
Hmm.
And it is a medical condition. So at the same time, I'm not a doctor. But
Right.
that's what I loved about this is that it fit that. Like it, because even though I know this, I was still like kind of in my head, like, ooh, anything too slick, it might be too much for my skin. And since I have
Right.
the, like I mentioned before, sensitive skin, a lot of times because I have seasonal allergies and so on, I'm like, not everything natural is made for me because I'm allergic to natural things. And so this was
Right.
again, like it really wowed me. I'm really glad that I got the chance to try these products out. And I hope that other people give it a shot as well and really test it out. Now, since it is mainly online, is there any plans to have a brick and mortar or to partner with any brick and mortars? Any of that coming up you can share with us? Or what's your dream to go with this brand? Like what's next for you?
Oh man. So yes, I definitely want to expand so people can have their needs and their essentials available in a city near them. Absolutely. I would love to do that. Um, as far as the overall brand, I just want to be able to continuously provide those go-to skincare essentials.
Mhm.
I just, and not even just limited to skincare, but even like household care. Again, we have candles, room spray. So I want the entire experience. You get your shower, you get your bubble bath, you butter up, do your facial care, you light a candle. And I just want it to be that type of vibe where those are your daily routine, not even just your skincare, but just your daily routine that makes you feel good in your sacred space. That's what I really want it to be. Like I feel like we all deserve that,
Yeah.
especially in these times.
Girl, and us sensitive skin people have been kind of left out because fragrance is like one of the top
Yeah.
irritants and so on. So to be able to be back into like, I mean, I will admit these aren't very fragrant. So don't like expect for these to be super fragrant, but the body butters, which
Right.
is where it matters, is. And so like, I just loved being able to have that experience with it. And I think other people will as well. And you don't need a brick and mortar. I was just wondering if that was something you were planning on because I mean, we learned through the pandemic, if you can do it virtually, why not?
Yeah.
The
Everything
overhead and
virtual
all of the
now.
extra stuff, like you can focus more money into the product and to your customers as well. Because
Right.
when I used to be a pharmaceutical sales rep, one of my biggest clients, they sold everything online. I think it was called the Skin Store then. I don't remember now, but they had
Uh-huh.
they just shipped. They had different people that worked the call lines to help people decide what their skin conditions were, what were their ailments, and so on. And they had like a quiz you could do first, and then you could speak with an esthetician, or maybe it was a nurse as well that they had on staff that you could speak with, or it might have just been
Uh-huh.
people that were trained in their products very well. I don't really
Right,
remember.
right.
Um, and they were doing fantastic, and all they had was office space just for boxing up and orders and so
Yep.
on, and call centers, whatever. So again,
Hmm.
whatever works for your business. I was just curious because you just never know when somebody might be like, hey, by the way, I just partnered with da-da-da-da. And now it'll be in a department store near you or a spa or whatever, because I noticed you do
Yeah.
have wholesale options. So it's like, hey, if
Yeah.
you're looking to add a new line that smells great,
Yes.
works for those sensitive girls like us at your spa, you may want to consider these beautiful Butter Me Up Goods skincare. And do you have any last thoughts you would like to share about your product, or any eSpot exclusives you can share as well?
Oh man. All I can say is it's going to be a very fun summer for BMUG. Maybe some old school favorites that may be coming back that people have been requesting. But overall, just continuously expanding and giving people the experience that they deserve. I'm really excited for this year. I feel like something amazing is coming. I don't know, but I feel it, so I'm ready for it.
Hey, it's your year for sure. And for anyone that's interested in starting their own line, whether it's skincare or anything else, what last minute advice would you give them as far as putting themselves out there, taking that leap, and making it more than just a hobby or something just your family got to enjoy? Like, what gave you that courage, or how can you instill that in someone else?
That's a very good question. I always tell people that you have to love what you do. Don't do it for anyone else. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for any other reason, but just loving what you do, because that's the only thing that's going to get you to where you want to go or trying to go. Because if you love it, that's all that matters. If you don't love it, it's going to be so painful. Like, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to want to do it. Love what you want, what you choose to do, and stay dedicated to it. If that's with anything, not even just starting your business, anything in life that you want to do, you have to love it. You have to put in the work, the research, the time. And if it's something you're passionate about, it's gonna be a lot of long nights and sleepless days. Like, you're gonna have to do the work, but
Yeah.
loving it makes it a lot easier. It makes it
Yeah.
so much easier.
I would agree with that. That whole saying that love what you do and it doesn't feel like work is a lie, because there's
Yeah.
parts of work that you don't love
There's
to do,
work.
like the
Yeah.
websites and the SEO. I still hate that part, but I love the hosting. I love the storytelling. So I'm willing to do the work that I don't like in order to get the parts I do like. So there's that
Right.
element too. Like, don't let that discourage you. Like, oh, this feels like work. That's okay. But you love what you're
Yeah.
doing. You love the outcome. You love what you're bringing into the world. And I love your product. So congratulations
Thank
on all that you are
you.
doing, and keep up the good work, girl. And
Thank
for
you.
everyone, how can they follow you and keep up with BMUG? I was calling it the full name the whole time. So,
It's either
okay,
or. It's
okay.
either or.
All right. So yeah,
So
so share
yeah.
where everyone can follow, keep up. And for the record, if you've noticed the glow on me, it's because I am really truly using this, as well as I do go to a spa and get stuff done. Let me
Right,
not
right.
deny it. I just started that journey. But needless to say, the skincare, I've been using your products as well as my other favorite spa products, which I'll talk about another time. But yeah, so again, how can everyone keep up with you and find out more about BMUG?
So you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/buttermeupgoods, or instagram.com/buttermeupgoods, or visit our website at buttermeupgoods.com.
Great. Thank you so much for being my guest. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
you
for
spending
having
time with me
me.
today. Oh, it's my pleasure. I can talk skincare and beauty all day long, but when I
Yeah.
first started my show, the E was going to be maybe if I started my own beauty place, like my own skincare, because it fit for esthetician and it fit for
Right.
entertainment. The
Uh-huh.
two things I love doing. So then,
Uh-huh.
but and then when the pandemic hit, I was like, oh, estheticians are going to be hit really hard by this, because there wasn't
Yeah.
anywhere for them to perform services. People weren't really doing drop shipping yet. So that was originally my goal, was to try to
Right.
get, but those those people were parents. So they were stuck with a virtual academy and all this other stuff. And I was like, I'm just gonna stick with entertainment. So love being able to expand and talk about skincare as well, because I miss.
Right.
So thanks again for being my guest, because
Oh.
I enjoyed the process. So I hope you have a
Well, I
great rest of your
appreciate you
day,
for
and thank you
having
for joining
me.
me. Oh, of course, anytime you want to come back and share some news, you just hit me up. Okay.
Okay,
You're
all
stuck with
right.
me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. And thank everyone for watching. This has been the eSpot with Camille. I am your host, Camille Cower. Please make sure that you share with your friends this episode if they would also love to hear about BMUG. BMUG, Butter Me Up Goods, or Toshia Baker. Learn more from about her and her product line, her journey, or if you just want to share, just to be sharing, because sharing is caring. And thank you again for watching. And you can check me out on CamilleCower.com. You can find me on all the Instagram, all the Twitter as well. Just look up Camille Cower, Google. It's all there. I'm everywhere. So thank you again for watching, and I appreciate you. You have a wonderful day.
Know you can get it. Looking exquisite, no competition. Stay on the pivot. Who be watching? They be plotting. She's so motherfucking independent. Mama be big, got on her grind. She had to get out her mama house. Daddy be tripping, now she be whipping. Ain't no more.